AI is bad for your children. Yes, I said it. AI, artificial intelligence, is bad for your children. Who is this ignorant woman? This is the 21st century. This is happening, that is happening. I'm a fan of AI. I love all the things, well, not all, many of the new developments that we can see when it comes to technology, but how are they helping our children? Can you remember the days when you'd have to sit down and do a lot of mathematical equations? Life is mathematics, life is science. You sit down and you do your additions, you would do your multiplication, your division, you do your mental maths, you'll be able to think critically to get answers to things. But now, our children have smartphones, they have devices, they have calculators that they depend on. So they can't even think. Do you know how irritating it is when you go to a bank or you go and buy something in a supermarket and just to even give you change sometimes? The person must touch a calculator before they can figure out how much it is. They just depend solely on devices. So what is actually there? Now, the people that are creating um, new developments and when it comes to technology, many of them don't even allow their children to use these devices. Many of them take their children off the internet. They have built curricula for their children to engage in. They don't want what is being taught in the public schools, especially a lot of Nigerians that are ignorant and just assume that any public school you take your child to, oh, that is it. That is where they do the sampling. That is where the guinea pig work goes. That's where the experiments go. So your children may be an experiment when it comes to the agenda of the enemy. You can't question what it is that they want to actually do in those schools. They just go there and they do anything, and your children will be a part of it. Many of you are busy, you don't even know what is going on, and you're teaching your children values that don't align with your own values, either as a Christian or as whatever it is that you call yourself. So you have to be close to the details. Many of these people are creating, and these are the wealthy people. They're creating content for their children, what they want their children to learn. They don't want their children to be raised like the masses. What are you doing to ensure that your own child is a unique child of God, and your own child is not caught away and used as an experiment? And what are you ensuring that your child consumes? What is your child actually consuming? Is it anything that you see you allow your child to consume? Anything that is the latest updates, they are doing it. Latest chat GPS, AI, creativity, graphics, all sorts of things. It's been done. Oh, Alexa, put on the lights. Alexa, what's today's date? Alexa, sometimes you have to actually think of what the date is. Sometimes when you haven't even been to work or classroom and you're thinking, oh, what is the date today? Now, these tools are supposed to be our assistants. They should be working for us. We shouldn't be working for them. It's come to a point where people are so dependent on it that if they don't have these tools around them, they're actually useless. And that's not how God created us to be. These people that are creating these tools are still creating opportunities for their children to think critically, to collaborate, to communicate, to problem solve. How are you allowing those to happen in your homes and in the schools that you're doing? Okay, this ChatGPT thing that it came out, the masses are jumping on it. Many people are already thinking about how they are going to use it to cheat in the exams. It can summarize for you, it can give you headlines, it can give you suggestions. People want to use it for copywriting, all sorts of things. We're not going to become redundant as long as we can think. Now, if thinking is taken away and the work of the mind is taken away from a human being, then you become a robot. You can be controlled. The enemy can take you over. I'll say that again. If your thinking ability is taken away from you, if your mind is eroded and you are not able to think, you're not able to produce, you're not able to problem solve, you're not able to reason, then the enemy has won. That is the strategy of the enemy, to take over your mind, to see our children engaged in so much media. That is what the enemy wants. The reality is that to a very, very large extent, AI disempowers your children. How does it disempower children? Now, if your children are not able to think critically, in fact, they're not able to think at all, because that's the whole idea. They want to take over their minds. How are they even going to be able to operate those devices? Not operate not the word. How are they going to be able to program those devices? Because the whole idea is to help them to program. Now, a lot of children a lot of people have learned how to program. They have mastery in different programming languages like Python and even more advanced ones. Now, they are able to manipulate all those. But now we have AI that can even code for the children. They can code for you. It's one thing for the AI to be assisting you, but it's taking over. So essentially, many people are de-skilling. Yeah, they're de-skilling. Now, my problem is not even about jobs now. That's not what this conversation is about. My own conversation right now is about the mind of the human being, the mind of the child, how they think, what they constantly consume. That's my own concern. Problem solving skills. You know, a lot of problems that we have in life is still based on this mathematics. You can put one and two together. Coding, programming, science, all of them, they're all what makes us life. If we are now taking away the ability for our children to do all these things, then what else is left when they can't think? That's my own problem. So it disempowers children. Mental math is important, you know. You see people that they will say, what is 10 plus 35? They can't do it. They have to pick up a calculator to figure out what 10 and 35 is. If you tell them, oh, 7 plus 7, they know it. But if you tell them 70 times 7 or something like that, they can't figure it out because they can't link, they just can't do the maths. And that is what happens in life. So when they have issues, they can't link anything. They can't problem solve. They can't troubleshoot. And this AI is taken away. So I'm not talking jobs at all. Life is based on science. Life is based on mathematics. Why is ChatGPT, GPT, or whatever, and a lot of these AI tools, why are they free? Why has knowledge been democratized for the first time? Why is it so free? Why can I write, tell me 5 ways? This is even beyond Google now. It's deeper than Google. Google already made us realize and know that the teacher is not the fountain of knowledge. Yeah? Now, this is even deeper because you can't tell Google to take this headline and create a story and all sorts of things, copyright and do several things for you. This ChatGPT can do that. A lot of AI tools can do that. Deeper than Google. Are you following me? Are you following what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to be slow now so that we can all. Why is it being given to us freely? Because they don't want us to think. Don't you get it? You get it? You get it? I mean, you don't get it. You get it, I mean, you don't get it.
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
They do not want us to think at all. They don't want our children to think. That means we can't solve problems. And when there are issues in the world, you'd find that you will not be able to find the solutions because you don't even know how to think. And they will always feed you information. The same way that they are feeding you all these things for free, they will take over your mind and continue to feed you everything for free. And you will not even know when or even how to challenge anything. Are you getting me? And people are talking end times, end times, end times. End times is already happening. It's so subtle. Before you know it, you'll be agreeing to different terms and conditions, to different updates, because you can't even think anymore. That's the whole idea. That's the agenda. Now, what is your own agenda as a parent? What's your own agenda as a human being, as a teacher, as whatever? What's your own agenda? You're just consuming everything. What's your agenda for your children? Read a book, you won't read. Watch videos about parenting, you will not watch. Follow people that follow Poshe and the likes. You will not follow. Join their paid parenting group, you will not go. Go for free parenting seminar, you will not go. And you just want to pray. That's if I told you pray. You just want to pray. And the Bible has said it categorically, prayer without works is void. You're just wasting your time. If you just sit down there, oh, pray, I'm praying for my children, I cover them with the blood of Jesus, you take them to Ileke, you do all sorts of things, but you don't act. You must act. The enemy is acting. The enemy is acting. So you must act. You must ensure that you do your best to ensure that your children are equipped. They must have a sound knowledge. Many of them, even up until the age of 18 and even beyond, they must have basic understanding of mathematics and science, coding, programming languages, and the likes before they now mount up all these things on top of them. For them, can't stress enough, because I did hear about Elon Musk not taking his children to conventional school. He created what he wanted them to learn, got tutors that would teach that particular thing or to them. And I know that a lot of people have also tried to copy that model, but you don't have Elon Musk's mind. You don't even know what it is that you want your children to do. You don't even know the enemy you're fighting. They know what they're fighting. They know, and they're interacting amongst themselves, so they will get all their peers to attend those sort of schools. They know what they understand it to extent that the average man, does, the mortals. And it might be difficult to explain. But the thing is, don't let anybody take over your mind. You must invest in your mind. You must invest in the mind of your children. You must do things that cause you to think. Even sometimes if you try and write with your left hand, you are training your brain. You're doing simple things to ensure that you are thinking. Use another route. Read a book that is not in your field, that you find challenging. Try and understand it. Because the whole idea is to ensure that your mind, your brain is sharp enough for you to reason. They're trying to take away reasoning skills from you and from your children. And you don't want that to happen. Even when they're cheating, using these apps to cheat, they also have apps to detect all those people that are cheating. They have that. But even when they have that, and they find people out or they don't find people out, the whole idea for me is, even if you change the words in those essays or write-ups or competitions or whatever the case may be, are you using your mind? Are you engaging your mind? Are your children engaging their mind? Are they using it to think? Because even to draw, to create, even I saw an app that I downloaded a while ago where I can, more than one app, not even an app, where I can animate myself. I can make myself look like a cartoon character. So where is that place where we are drawing and we are being creative, doing our own things, producing our own things, being producers, not downloaders, not consumers? Where's the room for that? If you pay attention, you'll see that it's slowly being taken away from us, and it's slowly being taken away from our children. And we must do everything in our power to ensure that we preserve the minds of our children. I see now that even schools in Africa, they too, everything, they want to use computer. Don't get me wrong, we use computer at Le Poshe school, computers at Le Poshe school. We use technology to a significant extent. But it will not take away the place of note-taking. And not to an extensive level where they're copying things from the internet and all those sort of things that I hear people do. But there's something called muscular discrimination. There's something called there's a connection between you when you write and your brain. Especially if you have all your arms and your fingers and you're able to do it. There is a reason why it's there. You don't want to train handwriting. You don't want to train the children to read, to write properly anymore. You don't want, nothing. They're just making us lazy, and it's convenient to a large extent because we are busy, but it has the demerits, and that's what this video is about, to warn you that you should be careful about technology, about AI taking over you as an individual. Your mind is the most important thing. Guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows rivers, abundance. It follows the issues of life. Everything. You must guard your heart. So that's my message to you today. Beware of AI. Beware of all these things that are happening. And don't think it's cool to saturate your children with devices where they no longer are able to think and use those skills that they need. I'll give you 5 of those skills. Problem solving, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Poshe, take care.